Hello, today we are going through the next part of the Aldenham 2015 maths paper. So without any further ado, let's get straight into these questions. So here for this next question, we're told the temperature in Paris was 8 degrees Celsius lower than in London. What was that temperature? So we take London 5 degrees Celsius and we subtract 8 degrees Celsius. So we do 5 minus 8, giving us -3 or -3 degrees Celsius. And then for part B, what was the difference in temperature between Oslo and New York? So let's take a look at this. We have New York here and we have Oslo here. And we want the difference. So if we want the difference, we've got to think about the entire distance that we're stretching when going from -5 to 7. So if we start from 0, -5 is a negative number. So we're going to the left. So -5 should be somewhere here, right? -5. And then 7 being a positive number, let's keep that arrow there, being a positive number is going to go to the right-hand side. It's going to be somewhere over here, 7 degrees Celsius. So the mistake here would be seeing the number 7, seeing the number 5 and thinking, oh, the difference is 2. No, because we have 7 and -5, we have to go across the 0, which means the actual difference is first getting from -5 to 0, which is 5, and then going from 0 to 7, which is 7. So it's 5 plus 7, giving us 12 degrees Celsius. That's the actual difference in temperature. So here for this question, we're told that Freya scored 16 out of 20 in her spelling test, but Hannah scored 85% in her spelling test. So who did better? And we have to explain our answer. Now, the way we're going to work this out is either by working out the percentage that Freya got, or by working out how many marks that Hannah got. So in this case, it will be easier to work out the percentage that Freya got, and we'll see why. The reason why is because if we take her score, 16 out of 20, to work out what percentage that Freya got, we simply work out 16 over 20 multiplied by 100. Now we can take out the common factor of 20 across this diagonal, giving us 1 and 5. And then we simply do 16 times 5 to work out her percentage. Well, 16 times 5 is 10 times 5, and then 6 times 5. 10 times 5 is 50. 6 times 5 is 30. 50, 30, 80. So Freya scored 80%. And therefore, because she scored 80%, she scored less than Hannah, who scored 85%. So we can write something down. Let's say H. Or let's say Hannah. Go on. Hannah did better because she scored 5% more than Freya. And we know this because Freya scored 80%. And that should be enough for our 2 marks. So here we have to fill in the missing numbers. So let's try and work out these sequences. And it's all going to be about pattern recognition. So we start with A, -3 to 1 to 5 to 9. Here, very simple one, we're adding 4 each time. So we add 4 to 9 to give us 13. And we add 4 to 13 to give us 17. Part B, 32 to 26. What's going on here? Well, to go from 32 to 26, what are we subtracting by? Well, going from 32 to 30 is minusing 2, or subtracting 2. And then going from 30 to 26, we're subtracting an extra 4. So overall, we're subtracting 6. So let's try and keep this pattern going. Let's subtract 6 from 26. This would give us 20. Then let's subtract 6 from 20, 14. Okay, so it seems like we found the pattern. Let's continue this pattern. 14 minus 6 gives us 8. So it's 20 and 8. Then for part C, it seems like we're doubling this time. We're timesing by 2. 3 to 6 is double. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. What's 12 times 2? 24. Then we continue it. 24 times 2, 48. 48 times 2 is going to be 96. Then for part D, we have 1, 4, something, 16, 25, something. Okay, so here we have classic square numbers. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2, or 2 squared, is 4. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared, 16. 5 squared, 25. 6 squared, 36. So 9 and 36, square numbers. Now here for question 14, we have to use some of our knowledge about angles. So let's try and work it out. Part A, estimate the size of angle A. So here, there's no real exact correct number because we have no values. But saying that, there is a range of values that will be acceptable. First of all, we have to understand that we have a straight line. And the angle on a straight line is going to be 180 degrees. And then we also know about right angles, right? Right angles are 90 degrees. So if we take the size of angle A over here, we already know that it has to be less than 90 degrees because 90 degrees is our right angle. And then if you also compare it to 90 degrees, it kind of looks halfway between our 90 degrees and our 0, right? All the way over here. So if we're halfway between 90 degrees and 0, then roughly we should be at 45 degrees. So here, there's no exact answer, but I would say for you to get the mark, your answer should be somewhere between 40 degrees and 50 degrees. So any value around there, most commonly being 45 degrees, would be correct. And we use our knowledge of angles on a straight line and our knowledge of right angles to work that out. And then for part B, we have use your own answer to part A to find the size of angle B. Okay, perfect. So we know angles on a straight line always equal 180 degrees. So if we have 45 degrees here, let's put it in red, 45 degrees, then to go the rest of the way around, all we do is 180 minus 45. And we can simply take this as 180 minus 40, giving us 140, and then we minus the extra 5, giving us 135. So the size of angle B, based on angle A being 45 degrees, will be 135 degrees. So here for this question, we have to make sure we are very careful and don't make any silly mistakes. So we start at 5:35 in the morning, right? That's when these football players, these students arrive at Heathrow Airport, 5:35. And we're trying to go from 5:35 in the morning to 8:10 in the morning. So let's start by going to 6 a.m. So 5:35 a.m. to 6 a.m. What's going on? We're simply adding 25 minutes, right? So let's put 25 minutes here. Or let's put 0025. So now we're at 6 a.m. Let's jump to 8 a.m. And doing this, is a jump of 2 hours. So now we have not 25 minutes, but we have 2 hours and 25 minutes. And finally, let's go from 8 a.m. to 8:10, adding on 10 minutes. So now we don't have 2 hours and 25 minutes, we have 2 hours and 35 minutes. So that's our answer, but then we're told to put everything in minutes. So 2 hours is obviously going to be 120 minutes because there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So 120 plus the 35 gives us 155 minutes, and that's our answer. Now, for this question, we have to fill in this chart. And the way we're going to do this is by first starting with the easy, quick wins. And those easy, quick wins will be found where there's only one unknown. So here, for example, we only have one unknown. We know that for tennis, in terms of favorite sports, it's the favorite sport for 5 boys, and overall, it's 13 students' favorite sport. And therefore, it has to be the favorite sport for 8 girls. Same thing for swimming. This has to be 10 because 6 plus something equals 16. And now we have a few less unknowns, and we can work out the total for girls. We have 8 plus 5, giving us 13. 13 plus 12, giving us 25. 25 plus 10, giving us 35. And now we can work out the total of the totals, right? We have 25 plus 35. So 25 for boys, 35 for girls, or 25 plus 5 is 30. 30 plus the remaining 30 is 60. Great. Now we can work out this unknown. So you see how we're going through the table systematically, trying to work out the situations where we only have one unknown. So here we have 13 plus something, plus 14, plus 16 equals 60. So let's work out 13, 14, 16. 13 plus 14 is going to give us 27. 27 plus 16 is going to give us, 27 plus 6 is 33. 33 plus the remaining 10 is 43. So we have these all adding up to 43. So to get to 60, our total, this has to be 17. And this allows us to work out the final few values, because this must be 12 to make this all add up, and this must be 2 to make this all add up. So that means we have now filled the table. So part A is complete. And now we have some probability. Okay, part B. Find the probability that a student picked at random likes hockey best. Okay, so we're told we're looking for the probability that a student, girl or boy, likes hockey best. So to work out this probability, we take the total number that fit our criteria over the overall total. And if we do that correctly, we should come out with the correct probability. So let's try and use this framework. How many of these students fit our criteria? What is our criteria? Our criteria, our rules are that the student must like hockey best. Girl or boy, they must like hockey best. So here, there are 14 students that fit our rules, that fit our criteria. So 14 is our numerator. And then how many students is this out of? Well, because we're picking students out of students, our bottom number, the total number, should be the total number of students, which is 60. right? So we have 14 over 60. This would be completely different if they said, find the probability that a boy picked at random likes hockey best, right? Or it said maybe out of all the boys, someone likes football best, right? That would change our criteria and change our total. But here, our criteria is going to be 14 because we're talking about students in general, girls and boys. And our total number is going to be 60 because, again, we're talking about a student out of all the students. So 14 over 60. And let's try and simplify this fraction. So this could be correct. You get the mark for it. But we can also write it in its simplest form. We can simply divide it by 2. 7 over 30. And by divided by 2, we of course mean we can take out the common factor of 2 from both the numerator and the denominator. So 2 goes into 14 7 times, and 2 goes into 60 30 times. So 7 over 30. This is our probability. Okay, so that is all for today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know when the next video is released. And on that note, I will see you all next time.